Hello and welcome to the Oily Crafter YouTube channel. My name is Dr. Greg Medore. My call sign is Alpha India 5 Hotel Victor. And today we will be talking about a process I go through to update the Northeast Oklahoma DMR Master Codeplug. So, little history about this codeplug. This codeplug was designed for use for the Tulsa County, Oklahoma ARES organization. We did want to have a common DMR codeplug that all the members could use and be consistent across the board. We also wanted this codeplug to be comprehensive. Now, obviously, it's not a static set it up one time, program it one time, and then you walk away from it and don't ever change it. So there are changes to that codeplug. Today we're going to talk a little bit about those changes. So I had several changes, and I just want to go over some of those. So let me show you here. So I had some channels in the codeplug. These were for analog repeaters, but what I found is that previously I had this decode right here set to CTCSS and 88.5. That's on the receive side of the radio for the HT. What happened was during a recent bike event that I was there to help support, I could not hear any audio at all. So I determined when I turned that off that the receive channel worked just fine. I also checked the other repeater there as well, had exactly the same problem there. So those settings, I did see those settings on repeater book. So just, a thought and suggestion to repeater owners is review your settings on repeater book and make sure that they're up to date. So the other thing that I wanted to show you here is that we had a little too far there. Let me scroll down here. Alrighty. Keep scrolling down. Sorry, I went too far in my deal here. Another couple of ones is we recently had a repeater that was added roughly in the area. This repeater was originally online as in Owasso, and it is now listed according to repeater book in foil. I believe it's actually bushy head, but we're just going by the name that is assigned to it, repeater book, their location. So as you can see, I added that into the list here. And then also the Tulsa Amateur Radio Club added a UHF repeater into their COM1 Mercy trailer there. And so I've entered those settings into the code plug as well. Now, the other thing that I can show you that I did was if I come in here and I look at in analog repeaters, you'll notice that the foil repeater has been added in here. And also the TARC1 COM trailer here was added in. Additionally, I made some additional modifications here, and I added in several zones to support the different bike runs that the Tulsa Amateur Radio Club and Tulsa ARES Group provide support for. Dam Jam, Copland Classic, Ride to Remember, Tour to Tulsa, Tulsa Tough, Sunday, and then Saturday, a slightly different comm plan. Those ICS 205s were provided to me by Paul Teal, WB5ANX, and just wanted to show you I've gone through and I've added in all those channels. Now, keep in mind, those channels were already in the code plug. The zone file is just simply a folder or a way to organize those channels so that when you're out in the field, you're supporting an event, you can easily go to that zone, and then you can select that zone, and there's your channels that are already in there and programmed for you. I also added the TARC COM1 trailer to that zone. So let's just look at the next one. This is Copland Classic. This is Ride to Remember, Tour to Tulsa, Tour Tulsa Tough on Sunday, and then Tulsa Tough on Saturday. So I've added all those in. Now, notice this is on my 878. This is for my mobile HT rig that I have here. And by the way, I absolutely love this radio. This radio, it does everything I need to do. Full GPS, full APRS, and supports a huge number of 250 zones. Channels is number of channels is 4,000. The digital contacts, it supports 500,000. Some of the other DMR radios out there, they only support 100,000, 200,000. And so I absolutely love this radio, and I would encourage anybody that's looking for a DMR radio to pick one of these up. By the way, I've heard rumors that the Anytone 168 that it hasn't been selling quite as good as they'd hoped, and so there may be a change there in the near future. I would encourage you to look for a Black Friday sale ad or for the 878. I hear that those might be going on sale soon. So with that said, I've got all this in my 878. You're saying, okay, well, guess what? I want to put this in my 578. And as you can see here, let me see if I can bring this up here. And I use this program called 5K Player. 5K Player really helps me out in being able to get my what's on my phone, get that over to the computer so that you can actually see it. Just shrink that down a little bit there. But bottom line, it helps me get that on the computer screen there so you can see it. So with that said, I've got a 578 and it has an older version of the Codeplug. And I said, okay, well, how do I get those channels and zones? How do I get those updates in there? So I've got them in my 878, which I've got an Excel spreadsheet that I manage that, and then I export all those channels and I import those into the radio, and then I do my configuration from there. So I've already got it in the radio, and I could do the same thing on the 578, but I want to show you another trick that I learned. So what I did is got it in the 878 exactly like I want, went up to Tool, I went up to Export. I did this Export All function right here, and so what I did is you notice I exported it into this folder here, and there's my LST file. So I'm going to bring that over here and I'm going to show you. This is all the CSV files. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take those CSV files from the 878 and I'm going to import them into the 578. Now some people would say, oh, you really shouldn't do that. I've heard a lot of people say that. You really shouldn't do that. You should rebuild it from scratch every time. Well, if you have lots of time on your hands and you want to do that every time, by all means, be my guest. But if you're like me, you're busy and you want to get it done as efficiently as possible, I want to share this shortcut with you. So again, got it updated on the 878, did an export all. I'm going to come over here to my 578. And I've got the CPS pulled up, and by the way, if you're wondering, this is 121. Now you're probably wondering, okay, well, which version of the software equals, the firmware, equals that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here and I'm going to go to the Bridgecom site, Anytone 578. And this is a version 2. Notice the white square, here that's around the right here on the. You can't hardly see it here. Let me pull this up. white box right here around there, that tells you it's a version 2 on the radio. So we'll come back here to this guy. Okay, a version 121 is firmware version 208. Now, how do I know which version firmware I have? I can go in here, I hit the menu button, go down to settings, go down to device info, scroll down through, firmware version GD, version 208. Now, I have made mention to the powers that be. I said, guys, why can't you make the CPS version number and the firmware version number, why can't you make that the same? And I was told it's because they're sharing the same CPS between the Pro model of the radio, which I have one, and the Plus version of the radio, which I have one. My wife also has one. But anyway, that's what I was told. I'm like, okay, fine. So we'll move on. All right, so again, I just want to show you, notice right here on these prior repeaters, I've got 88.5 on both of those, 88.5 on that. Okay, and we already showed you the other info here on some of those channels there. Right here. Right here, you're going to see a couple more channels pop in. So the first thing we're going to do, we're going to do a tool, we're going to do an import. Hit OK. We're going to go down to channel. All right, and then we're going to scroll down here. This is my 878 export. Now notice I have a very interesting naming scheme. It's very detailed, quite frankly, so that I can look at it and I can know exactly what it is. Northeast Oklahoma Codeplug tells me the model radio it is, the version of the CPS software. It's for me. This one is customized for my call sign and radio 1 and then the date. And you notice I put this one has a B, so the first time I save it on a date, I label it A, next time a B, next time a C, and so on. That just helps me do version control. So we're going to do channel right here, and we're going to hit open. Okay, now we're going to hit import. Press import. Okay, got it. Click it. And this takes a little bit because there are quite a few channels in this code plug. Okay, import is complete. Close that. Notice that foil repeater we talked about, the TARC-COM1 repeater that's in the Mercy trailer is also there. And scroll back up here at the top. Oops. Now notice down here in prior, notice we have that CT-CSS turned off. CT-CSS is turned off. Okay. So the other thing now, what I want to show you is what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a file save as, because I've just changed this, right? So, and this is a custom code plug. This is not my master, so I save it in a different folder. Okay, this is for a 578 3 plus version 121. Got my name, got the date, and this is the A. This is my first save of the day. Okay, now when this comes back here, okay. Now, one thing I want you to notice is take close attention here, right in here in these channels. Notice that in the talk groups I have is the default and then the B channel. Okay, so what I want to show you is sometimes on certain radios, if those files are not compatible and you try to import it anyway, what will happen is it'll import it, but all these will go to like the first setting or the first channel that's in that group. So let's try it and see what happens. We're going to say import, And that usually happens when the zone file is of a different format than the radio or the CPS software that you're using. And I have seen this happen when you try to import it into an Anytone 168. So just to keep in mind. Importing the zone file. Hit OK. Now notice, guess what? My channel A, channel B for those zones, they didn't change. So that is absolutely fantastic. That's exactly what we wanted. Now, when I look at DMJam here, okay, notice that was one of the ones we modified. We added in the zone. We also had this TARC-COM1, okay, Copland Classic. Guess what? We added that zone as well. Ride to Remember, Tour to Tulsa, okay, Tulsa Tough Sunday schedule, Tulsa Tough Saturday schedule. So at this point, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to check my optional settings here and make sure on my power on it's got my name and my call sign just like I want it to. All my other settings are perfectly fine because I didn't import any of those to overwrite them. The other thing that I also did was I downloaded a new version of the digital contacts. Now, what I can tell you is that where you get your digital contact list, a recent change that was made by radioid.net, and I'm not saying this is a bad thing, I'm just stating what I observed, is that they have dropped the last name off of their DMR digital contact list. And when I reached out to them to ask them about it, they said it was due to had a lot of calls, a lot of tickets to do name changes within the system. And I said, okay, that I understand. So I don't get my list from there. Where I get my list from is anytone.org. Pull this back over here for just a second. I do download DMR IDs right here, and then I download this list right here. And when I click here, it brings up this list, and then I literally click on all because I have enough room in my radio. It holds 500,000 contacts in both the 578 UV3 Pro and Plus, as well as the 878. The 168 also has 500,000 contacts. So, all right, so the only thing left for me to do now is let's set my COM port. Oh, it's not COM9. Well, guess what? COM9 is for something else that I've got that's running in my radio. So right over here on the side, what I've got to do, there's a little flap there. Got to pull that flap open, and then I'm going to put this, put that in there, in the side there. And it came up as COM4. So I select COM4, hit OK. I say Program, and I say Write to Radio. Do you wish to continue? And in this particular case, I need to write the code plug, but I also need to write the digital contacts. So I'm going to do it one at a time. You can click both and hit OK. Just keep in mind, this is going to take a while. So I'm not going to bore you with have you sit through this and watch it while it writes all the digital contacts. But I do want to show you just how fast this is going on the on the radio there. See, that didn't take any time at all. And then the radio will of course, it will reboot. And come back up, and then we will go back and we will write the we'll write the digital contacts to there. Okay. There we heard the computer ding, COM4. So now we're going to say write to radio, hit OK, digital contact list, and this will take, 10, 12 minutes, something like that. So I'm just going to get that started. And it runs really quickly through this first step in this process here. But then when this is where it actually starts writing, this is what takes a long time. So I'm going to pause the recording, and I'll come back when it's done there. As you can see, this is we're getting close to the end of writing to the radio. Again, about 12 minutes, give or take, has gone by, and writing to the radio, the digital contacts, that's what takes so long. Updating the actual code plug itself doesn't take long at all. So we'll just wait for the radio to reboot, and we'll be done updating the code plug on the radio, and it'll be ready to go back in the truck and ready for use. Please be sure to do a file save as. Save your code plug. In this case, I want to save it with the letter B as another revision to the code plug. But be sure to save those changes. Save often, and that way if something happens, something goes wrong, you don't get the expected result, you can go back to that most recent version and save yourself a lot of time. I hope that this helpful tip, it's been helpful to you with regard to programming and updating your code plugs. Definitely appreciate your time and watching our video today. If you have any questions, please feel free to let me know. Suggestions for updates, that would be a great thing. But appreciate you watching our video today and supporting our channel. Thank you so much. We want to thank you for watching our Oily Crafter YouTube video, and we hope that you have a most wonderful and blessed day. And if you enjoyed the content, please like and subscribe to our video. My name is Dr. Greg Medore for the Oily Crafter, and may you have a blessed day today. Thank you.